Greetings and welcome back to the series in which I climb all the way from unranked to S rank using only cosplay builds. Last episode we created the Atlan from Doom the Dark Ages, and in that video I asked y'all what you would like to see next, and after that made a poll out of my top picks, and the winner was V1 from ULTRAKILL. Lancelot will see his day one day, maybe, hypothetically, potentially, indubitably. So yeah, we'll quickly go over the character of V1 and then adapt him into Armored Core, go over the weapons, the frame, the playstyle, all that good stuff. Then see how he performs in ranked. Though before we begin, if you are enjoying the content and you want to see more, please do feel free to leave a like and a sub, as it greatly helps me out a ton and lets me know you want to see more. And or become a channel member and get a special thanks and shout out at the end of every future video. Either way, thank you so much for your time and back to the video. Alrighty, first things, let's go over the character of V1. Jeebs, my AI, take it away.
Of course, sir. V1 Character Overview. V1 is the main playable character in ULTRAKILL, a hyper-violent, speed-driven first-person shooter. It's a blood-fueled war machine, literally a robotic combat unit designed for relentless battle. Name meaning V1 refers to its model designation, possibly version 1 or variant 1. Silent protagonist. V1 doesn't talk, but its personality is expressed through actions, animations, and gameplay style. Aggressive, stylish, and unrelenting. However, there have been fan interpretations. The use of SAM, Software Automatic Mouth, for V1's voice in fan content, like community dubs, is a popular fan interpretation, but not part of the game's official canon.
Why did you make me do this? You're A. I surely told you later that you will lose the V2. You were created after the Great War as tool of defense and protection, not destruction. But I was created during the war, by the war, for the war. I am a fucking killing machine. My algorithms are powered by the blood of my enemies and my joint soil is the fats of my fallen victim. And yet you still decide to challenge me twice even after I have destroyed your sorry iron that's in the last battle. Just tell me, what were you expecting to achieve?
Key characteristics. Blood-fueled. V1 restores health by bathing in the blood of its enemies. This fuels both its survival and combat efficiency, encouraging ultra-aggressive playstyles. Weapon variety. Carries modular arms that house a wide arsenal, from revolvers to railguns and shotguns. Many weapons have alternate fire modes, or can be combined for creative destruction. Movement King. V1 can dash, slide, wall jump, and blast around levels at extreme speeds. Mobility is key to survival. Style system. Inspired by Devil May Cry, the game rewards stylish kills with a style meter that encourages varied and flashy combos. Summary. V1 is a blood-fueled, hyper-mobile death machine designed for non-stop, stylish violence. It doesn't speak, it doesn't feel, but it kills. Fast, brutally, and with flair.
Alright, so yeah, that is V1. Let's adapt him into Armored Core. Alrighty, starting with the frame, I'm going with the Finder Eye head, as it has the right shape and emphasis on the dot in the center, mimicking V1's light eye and all that, as well as going with the full Alba set, as V1's overall appearance is indeed very humanoid in proportions and look-wise, and I think this set overall looks the best for that, indubitably. I even went ahead and added the V1 on the core right there, indubitably. For the inner parts, going with the Alula booster for its high priority in speed and maneuverability, really. Of course, meant to emulate V1's actual movement in the game. For FCS, going with Ocellus, although of course that will make more sense once we get onto the weaponry. For generator, VP20C, as overall it's a very fine, lightweight generator, but also it's the best selection once we have our weaponry on. And then for expansion, Assault Armor, to of course blend with the high-octane, highly aggressive playstyle the build will incorporate, and again, it makes sense with the weapons. Speaking of, for our first weapon, I'm going to be going with the Handgun Ducket. This, of course, to emulate the Slab Revolver, which is very similar to the base revolver you get, except for it is stronger and slower, very similar to the Kukulit and the Ducket itself, indubitably. Next, I'm going to be going with the Zwanji Bazooka. This is meant to emulate the actual grenade launcher, which is pretty one-to-one overall. And these two primary weapons blend together pretty well. The arms can't handle the recoil of, say, like 2 Ducats or something like that, but they handle just one fine enough in the close Ocellus range. Mix that with the occasional Zwanji, and yeah, you got some pretty nice stagger build up there. And then for back weapons, you can rock dual soups. This, of course, meant to emulate the wings that V1 has. Although they don't behave like them, being missile launchers and all, they do look pretty cool overall, so it's nice for a purely appearance type set. So yeah, although they look cool for a aesthetic variant, it will not be the one I'm using in PvP, as I can store even more weapons from the game on my shoulders, such as the Coral Walt rifle, which is meant to emulate the malicious variant of the rail cannon, as they're both red, are energy-based rifles, and overall very devastating indubitably. And then lastly, I'm rocking the laser dagger, which is meant to emulate one of the first type of primary weapons you're introduced to in ULTRAKILL, that being your literal fists, which are far stronger in the game of ULTRAKILL than our actual fists are here in Armored Core, so I figured I'd go with the laser dagger to add some extra punch to it. And overall, these weapons kind of combo together pretty good. Allow me to explain. So yeah, as I alluded to earlier, just get in your close range, spam the duck it until recoil is high enough, or rather impact's high enough, pop the Zwan, switch over, and while you're meleeing with the dagger, you charge up the first charge shot of the Walt, and it does that damage. Essentially true comboing, being very nice indubitably. And say you build up the impact, indubitably, you go for the punish, they have an expansion, assault armor, back into the dagger, continue the dagger punish, and then if they don't die, hit them with the first charge of the Walt. Now, obviously not the Noodle preferably, that would be probably very unfortunate. And if you're fighting a very tanky and heavy opponent, you actually just rely on the Walt rifle mostly and these 1G to just pelt them at range versus going in close and probably dying. Thing you have to keep in mind though, with the Alba arms, you cannot have both these 1G and the Walt at the same time, otherwise our arms are overburdened and we lose even more tracking, which we only have decent tracking in close range, so that is pretty not good. You can of course just switch and have the dagger out. They're all back weapons or primaries, so it's all good. You can switch them however you like indeed. So yeah, with the overall stats being 9k AP, 1000 defenses, 1500 stability, and 370 boost speed, it's overall quite squishy but very fast, while packing a very good punch, which overall should be very faithful to V1 methinks. So yeah, I hope y'all like my recreation. There is the share code for it on PC. So yeah, I shall now send it into some ranked PvP. Feel free to let me know what you think of this build and what other cosplay builds you would like to see next. Help me climb ranked indubitably. And yeah, I'll make a poll out of my top picks, and then y'all can vote for the winner. I hope y'all have yourselves a very good one, and enjoy the fights. Peace.
You must be a raven. Never sparred with one of Walter's hounds before.
I am here to put you in your place.
Let's get this trash out of the way.
Let us go into put it here. You are going to regret that.
Chatty! He's
AI control.
tourist.
Yes, Bobby.
Not now. Locksmith. More. I want.
Shut your two fires.
I couldn't resist.
Mother of God.
What the fuck is that?
Yippee!
And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, a huge shout out to my channel members, my Egg Crusaders, Arch, Shadow, Metal, Magpie, Hollow, Turbler, and Ronin. Thank you all so much for becoming channel members. Y'all truly make this content possible. And yes, I hope you all have yourselves a very, very good one. Peace, and thank you.